take a look at our assignment for today. Today we're going to be reading the text "The Beast in the Cave" by H.P. Lovecraft. This is a story about a guy that is exploring Mammoth Cave. Yes, those Mammoth Caves, which are just in Kentucky, not too far from us here. And he sneaks away from the group, only to become lost. And then he later feels like he's about to be attacked by a beast. He hears something, coming at him. He throws some rocks at it. He wounds it. He runs off. He ends up finding his guide, and then him and the guide go back to see what the beast was, and it was actually a man that had been lost in the cave. So it was kind of this kind of odd twist that the person that was lost and was about to become trapped in the cave ends up killing someone just in his own situation. But let's take a look at what the assignment today will be. Our goal today is to read that text and really get a full understanding of it so that we can use the text for the rest of the week. So we're going to read and annotate this text today. Now, we are going to use the same steps of annotation that we discussed last week and that we've been practicing. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this text and you're going to take like 3 to 5 minutes maybe, and you're going to skim through it. And when you get done skimming, you're going to get down here to the bottom and you're going to capture your first impressions. Now, that means that you're going to capture like what jumps out at you, things that you kind of remembered about the story, and your first take, your first impressions, what you thought of it, right? For this part here, you do not need full sentences. Bullet points and phrases will be fine. But our goal, again, is to kind of capture that sense of where we're coming from. So we kind of know as we read for comprehension, kind of where you're coming at. You like it or you don't, and why, and does that alter kind of that mental state that you're in as you go through the text. The next thing we're going to do then is we're going to read the text for comprehension, and as you are reading it, we want you to be highlighting in yellow the things that you don't understand or that you question, that you need some extra help on and clarifying. Now, the first thing obviously would be like vocabulary words, and you're going to find a lot of these vocabulary words in here. There's a lot of language that might be unfamiliar to you. If you highlight a word as a definite, like I don't know what that word means, right? If that's something you highlight, you probably don't need to make a note about it, right? But then if there's something you're like, I need clarification on, I want a little better understanding of this, or I don't understand, I don't get it, right? And you highlight that, then you probably need to have that kind of question written over here, like the same mammoth caves near here, right? And so that might be something that you question, like, is that the same caves? Are they talking about the same ones that we're familiar with? Maybe you've even been to Mammoth Cave, right? And so we want to capture that sentence or that question here. Now, you can put it in this notes column here. That'd be perfectly fine. You could also leave it in the comments over here to the sides, make a new comment and type it in here. Either one would be acceptable. After you get done with that, and we give you some time to do that in class, we're going to kind of go through and make sure that you have all those questions answered. Because again, we're going to use this text for the rest of the week. And so we want to make sure that you really understand it. The next reading, we are going to be going through and we're going to be reading for the important things, the things that really stand out, that this is something you need to know to understand the text, right? And so as you are going through there, this could be some of the obvious things like name or place or dates, setting, things like that, right? And it is also things that like, okay, this is really key to understanding, right? Like I really need to know this to understand the text to get a better sense of it, right? So for instance, maybe down here, some I knew had under circumstances these wouldn't have gone mad, right? And so we know later on, like you've already read the text twice at this point, right? We know that the beast that he finds is a man that has gone mad in the caves, right? And so this might be foreshadowing or something that we want to be remembering, right? And again, we probably put a note here okay, of the beast, right? So we have a sense of what's going on, why you captured that. Again, when Miss McGuire and I are reading through this, when we see these highlights, we need to know why you highlighted it, right? And so that's what these comments are for. They help you remember why you did it, and it helps us understand why you highlighted that, what you felt was important, or what your questions were. The final step then, we will be coming back later and we'll be looking at characterization. So we'll be highlighting in purple those things. We don't have to do that today. That'll be on Wednesday. The last step in your annotations then is to write that summary and your reaction. Now, the summary is a retelling of the story in your own words, and this helps us know that you got it, like you understood the text, right? You read it and you understood it. It also gives us a sense of what you thought of it, because maybe you interpret it one way, but really you kind of missed that, right? And so, this kind of gives us a sense of where you are at. We also want to see your reaction to this. Like, what did you think of it? What was your takeaway? What did you see from this? What was the value of it? What did you think of it? Okay. And you would do that in here. Now, we talked about the skimming, or these first impressions could be like bullet points, could be phrases, does not need to be in full sentences, but this does need to be written in full sentence. Okay. So you do want to write this out in full paragraphs. You will turn this in today. We will come back to this again. We'll touch base a little bit on Tuesday with this. We'll come back on Wednesday and we'll use this for characterization. And then Thursday, we'll continue to build off this. So we will come back to this text multiple times, but you will annotate it today and turn it in.